React speed has been a hot topic for many years. So what is it? Is it fast or is it slow? The answers, like most things in coding, is rather boring. It depends on the situation. What you are building will influence the speed of React, and for most situations, React will handle what you throw at it. But what if it could easily get faster? This is the promise of Million.js, written by the awesome Aiden Bai. You might be wondering how a library can make React any faster, and this is an interesting question that we will answer right away, and see how we can integrate it directly inside our application. Essentially, Million.js acts as a replacement to the standard React virtual DOM. This virtual DOM is what React uses to represent your application and make sure the UI is kept in sync with your application state. Let's take the example of a counter in a blog post. The regular virtual DOM would scan the whole DOM tree and accumulate a list of changes. It would update, create, and delete to make sure that the state, like the counter, is kept up to date with the DOM. Million.js instead works by analyzing your code in advance and identifying what is a dynamic value, like the counter. If this value changes, Million will go ahead and update that value directly in the DOM instead. This technique is in a way similar to how the Svelte compiler works, and Million gives you the option of opting into this technique whenever you need it. Let's see an example of how this works. But first, please don't forget to like and subscribe the video for more quick code explainers like this one. For our example today, we'll be creating a Vite React application. We will install Million.js, and inside our vite.config.ts file, we will import and use the Million compiler. Let's now optimize our first component using Million. The Vite starter code includes a counter that we will turn into a Million block. A block is the simplest way to use Million. You just have to wrap your component inside the block function, and this will allow Million to take over and use its own virtual DOM instead of the regular one. So here we just extract the counter button into its own component and create a block counter component. And we'll render it exactly where the original one was. This simplicity is a big part of why Million is so appealing. You can simply optimize in a single line of code different parts of your application that would benefit from a speed boost. Now let's explore creating an array of blocks. For this purpose, we will use the for component. We can pass it an array, and the children will be a function that renders each item. There are other optimizations you could do with both block and for, but this is essentially what Million does. With these two tools, you are equipped to give a speed boost to your React application wherever it needs it. We're still under 3 minutes, so I hope this was useful and have a great day.